Hey, welcome to this week's episode of Tweet Talk. I'm your host, Scott Foster. Each week I pull 2 to 3 tweets from my local Twitter feed at AD_Foster, throw them out to you to discuss, to think, to ponder. My last episode was about the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl ads, which has just occurred this past weekend. The game, not too bad, exciting, close. Kansas City using up to their usual season antics of coming from behind and snatching that victory from the team who thought they might be winning. The ads, they were okay. It was kind of a meh year for ads, I think. I liked the Snickers Fix the World ad. The big sinkhole, you throw some people in and the world gets fixed. Man, if it could be just that easy. And the Chief Groundhog Day, featuring Bill Murray and lots of other cast members from the original Groundhog movie. Really like that one. But again, that was kind of what we talked about, whereas that ad was even thrown out way before the Super Bowl. But it was still good, still aired, still cost the same amount of money. So before I get to our first tweet, how about this? Do you have a great idea for a podcast? Have you thought about doing your own podcast, but just not sure where to start? There's a lot of podcast tools out there. It can be overwhelming. If you haven't heard about Anchor, let me tell you about it and why I've chosen this app. It's free, and then Anchor walks you through the steps of creating, recording, and then getting your podcast on major podcast streaming sites. It does the legwork for you. You can make money from your first podcast and your first listener. Anchor is a complete package when it comes to producing your podcast on your phone or your computer. Download the Anchor app now or go to anchor.fm to get started. You'll have published your first podcast in no time. I did. All right, our first tweet comes from at DeuceXCinema. DEUSEXCINEMA. The subject of his tweet being about this Sunday night's Oscar telecast, which will wrap up the 2019 Feature Film Awards journey. I'm going to focus on Feature Film and Best Picture nominee because we could spend hours talking about even just the actor categories. So our journey starts in December, way back. Seems so long ago. Beginning of December with the Gotham Awards for independent films. And a few of the names and faces that were there and won continued on, and we will see Sunday night. But in terms of films, there wasn't a lot of movies that came out of there that will end up there Sunday night. Marriage Story being the winner, and really it's the only love that Marriage Story got as far as the big award shows and awards ceremonies go. And so, but it will be there for Best Picture on Sunday night. Then we moved on to the first real big televised, nationally televised award show, the Golden Globes, everybody's favorite drunken night, where we have the Hollywood Foreign Press, less than 100 of them, voting on all the major categories. And they split their movies into 2 groups, drama and then musical and or comedy. And for the drama, 1917 won. And for the musical or comedy, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood won. So out of the gate, those are the 2 front runners for your Best Picture nominee and the winner of the Oscars. Then we had the Critics' Choice Awards, which about 400 critics across the country and film critics, obviously, they gave their Best Picture award to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So beginning of December, you have 3 movies that were pretty much fighting for Oscars Best Picture and definitely going to get nominated. And the hype surrounding them just starting to pick up and get rolling. And then so after that, we had the Producers Guild's award, which they gave 1917 their Best Picture award. And in terms of a barometer, 70% of the time, their award winner went on to win Best Picture. So 1917 looking pretty good right now. Then the SAG Awards threw the big monkey in the wrench. They put the wrench in the monkey, not sure. But whatever they did, they gave their cast ensemble to Parasite. I know it shocked me. I was quite surprised. One, because while very, very good movie, the cast names most people have never heard of before. The acting was good, but it was as a whole, was it the cast I awarded Best Picture to, Best Ensemble to? I don't know, but it definitely put Parasite in the running for Best Picture. It was already getting nominated, of course, but definitely upped its chances. Then came the Directors Guild, which I'm a part of, and we gave 1917 our Best Picture award. And in terms of a barometer, we do a little bit better than the Producers Guild. And 77% of the time, the winner of the DGA Best Picture goes on to win the Oscar Best Picture. And then some ancillary awards for editing and cinematography, costumes, hair and makeup, those type of awards, guilds gave out their awards. And then last week we had the BAFTAs, the British version of the Oscars. And shocker to no one probably, but they gave their Best Picture award to, you guessed it, 1917. Sam Mendes' movie looking pretty good as we go into the last big week for awards of 2019. So what do we have left? We have this Saturday night, the Film Independent Spirit Awards, or what I grew up knowing them as the Spirit Awards, held the night before Oscar on what I would consider my favorite location to hold an award ceremony, on the beach. Nice big tent in Santa Monica. Mostly, well, it's all independent movies, so not so many of the same names of movies that you have seen or heard about, but some of the faces, more so the same movies that were nominated at the Gotham Awards. And then Sunday nights, it all comes to a close with the Oscars. So, probably three pictures that are neck and neck running into the end of the award season. 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. All with a really good chance to get in that Best Picture nod. What do you think? What is your favorite movie of 2019? Is it one of those? Is it one of those ones that was even nominated for Best Picture? Was it The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, The Joker? It will remain to be seen what gets the love and how the Academy spreads their love throughout these movies. Or is 1917 going to run away with it? Or is there going to be surprises? 1917, this World War One drama, not for everybody. War movies, not for everybody. And so Sam Mendes' movie about two guys trying to get to the front battle lines to save a whole battlement of army men from an attack, surprise attack. Not for everybody. I thought it was beautiful. Roger Deakins just working his magic to make a seamless movie shot in a manner so that it's all one take. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's latest movie, set in old time Hollywood and kind of crossing over with the Charles Manson and his people. Very interesting story weaving through both of those groups of people. Parasite. If you have not seen it, can't encourage you enough to see it. Like the director Bong Joon-ho said, once you get past the 1 inch barrier of the subtitles, you have a whole world ahead of you. Did not see this story coming, had no idea what it was about, but it was an amazing story, and just the ending was jaw dropping. Then you have the films outside looking in. The Irishman. The Irishman, outside of the acting, didn't seem to get a lot of love this award season. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with that. Martin Scorsese's latest gangster movie with all the actors we love from growing up, even and to now. Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi's wonderful, wonderful movie, story surrounding a tricky subject in a tricky time period, but just handled very, very well, very delicately. And it's definitely worth watching, definitely worth the credit and the accolades that it's got. And the Joker, Todd Phillips' wild spin on a comic book character. And obviously, we all know what Mr. Phoenix has done and has been doing with this, and all the celebratory accolades that Joaquin has gotten, very much deserved. But that's definitely it's on the outside looking in with Irishman and Jojo Rabbit. The others that have been nominated, Ford versus Ferrari, Marriage Story, they're definitely have a chance, but I just think their subject matter, especially Ford versus Ferrari, a car movie, that you can label it that. It's much more than that. But it's not going to probably fare with a lot of the Academy members. Tell me, what was yours? What did you like about him? What's your favorite? What do you want to see win Sunday night? Twitter.com at slash AD_Foster. And then we come to the telecast itself.
Yay! I've been dying to do something all day, and I think maybe we can take care of this. Oprah? Uma? Oprah? I feel much better.
You did, but did we? So if you remember that beginning of David Letterman's stint as the Oscar host, some people felt that one felt flat. And let's get talking about the Oscar hosts. So for the second year in a row, there will be no Oscar host. And Oscars without an Oscar host is like a hot dog without its bun, I think. I love seeing Oscars hosted. I love seeing these award shows hosted. Keeps it moving, keeps it fresh. Kind of for the most part, we've had really clever hosts who go in there and know how to kind of break the tension after awkward situations, or even following up a speech with nice quips. And I know I've had my favorites. Have you had yours? Hugh Jackman. I mean, who else than a showman to host the night for the industry? Chris Rock. He kind of had that borderline, kind of rough around the edges, almost teetering on crossing the line, but staying within those double lines. And then we have some great female hosts, Ellen, Whoopi. And we had some ones that were not so great. A lot of people maybe didn't think that Letterman did a great job, and so that's why he hasn't been back. Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, who can go wrong with Neil Patrick Harris hosting anything? Just like he's kind of in the vein of Hugh Jackman. Some were too crazy about Anne Hathaway and James Franco's stint as the duo hosting the Oscars, and that was probably one of the lesser kind of liked hosting gigs by some Oscar folks, but they got to do it. They got to stand up there in front of their peers and run that show. So it's all about our taste, and it's also about keeping the night moving. So what do you take? Do you like a host? Do you not like the host? Who is your favorite? Tell me. Twitter.com/AD_Foster. Now we get to the big topic of the awards. Is it too long? Is it too short? Is it just right? Do you like the musicals numbers? They've kind of, year after year, they try and reformat and redo the format of the Oscar show, trying to keep people's interest engaged, keep those ratings up, if you will. And sometimes they've managed to, whether they cut out the lesser, in some people's minds, not mine, categories, and then announce them all together. Or did they cut out the numbers, the musical numbers, which, it kind of adds a little pizzazz to the show. It's not supposed to be flashy. It's just an opportunity to award the folks who made some great films over the past year. What are your thoughts? What is your biggest criticism about the Oscars and the telecast itself? Tell me. AD Foster _AD _Foster. Tell me. Who is your upset? Who is your upset for Sunday night? Who is going to win an award that everybody didn't expect? Is Brad Pitt going to get beat? Is he not going to take home the trophy for Best Supporting Actor? Who's your upset? All right, let's move on from the Oscars and movie watching to talking about travel. We all like to go on the trips, whether it's a day trip, whether it's a vacation, whether it's a holiday. For some, a holiday means 2 weeks. Our next tweet comes from @Melissally, MELISSAALLY, and it tweets about deciding on where to go for a trip. Many decisions, many tough decisions, many thoughts. If you're like me, you research the crap out of it. We don't go anywhere that I haven't researched for at least an hour, if not more. Finding reviews, finding information, making sure it's someplace we want to go, how to get there. And especially if you live in the concrete jungle like we do, you want to get out of here. Jumping over into Central Park for the day, not quite the trip we wanted every once in a while. So many choices where to go, where to go, and whether it's close or far, driving or flying. What is your favorite place to go? Do you take trips in the U.S.? Do you take them abroad? I want to hear your favorite places to go, whether you live in St. Louis and you like to go across the border to Missouri or Kansas. See what I did there? Or do you live in a big city and you just like to drive an hour or two north to the country? Tell me. Twitter.com/AD_Foster. What's your favorite place to go take a trip? And then when you do go, is it hiking? We kind of switch it up. We we love to hike. We're very outdoorsy. We like to hike. We also love the beach. We love to sometimes just spend a week doing nothing on a lounge chair, soaking up the sun in some other country. And we've done that. We've done both of those. And so, what is it when you to go? What are you deciding on doing? We like exploring. We like finding new places to go. And and so whether it's taking a trip out of here 2 hours north to Connecticut and going hiking in Kent, Connecticut, along the Appalachian Trail. Nice little fun town. I highly recommend if you're in the tri state area. Or do you fly down to Florida if you're from the Northwest, especially this time of year when it's a little bit warmer down there? Here's my big question. What's the little known place where you travel to or have been, whether it's in the United States or whether it's not in the contiguous 48 states or Alaska or Hawaii, that not too many people know about or you don't think they do? A few years ago, we went to the Azores, a little island chain west of Portugal, and stayed on São Miguel, which is the biggest island of the little chain of the Azores. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful place. Um, from east to west, it's 44 miles, and from north to south, it's about 15 miles. Very easy to cover the whole place in the week that we stayed. Still didn't see everything, but we saw a lot. It's great for hiking. It's not really a beachy hangout place. It's mainly a sightseeing place. Uh, the capital, Ponta Delgada, cute little Portuguese town. Highly recommended if you're looking for someplace different to go to. Can be easily reached from the States or from Europe, wherever you may be listening from. But we went in December and it was still very green, still very beautiful and bloomy. But they have, they're known for the hydrangeas, which when they're in full bloom are stunning to look at. And it's just an amazing country. It's really what it's actually a island that is made up of three huge volcanoes, which we explored each one of them, and it's someplace we want to return. So that's my little known place that I want to tell you about. What is your little place that you want to share? Again, twitter.com/AD_Foster. Tell me, what is your favorite place to go to that I or other people may not have heard about that you want to share? All right, show of hands. Who has never people watched? Who's never sat somewhere, stood somewhere, and just watched the world go by? Our third and final tweet comes from I am Presremo. IAMPRESREMO. And they're talking about people watching. Who doesn't like people watching? If you've never tried it, highly encourage it. Just find a place, sit, lean against a wall, lean against a tree, and just stop and watch the world happen in front of your eyes. No judging, no nothing, just taking in with your eyes. New York City is a great place to people watch, as is probably any big city. So busy, so many different people, so many people, probably 80% of the people just focused on getting from A to B and focused on what they're doing. Unfortunately, with technology, with our phones and other things today, our head is in their phone, typing, texting, reading, what have you. So many people walking with their heads down. Have you seen that car commercial where it's the masses are walking with their heads. Everybody's got their phone in their hands and their heads down, even little kids in the playground. Um, and it's it is a social commentary, but it's also just adds to the opportunity and to people watch and to see what other people are doing. Uh, if you live in New York, where's your favorite place to watch people? Times Square, my God, so stimulus overload. Central Park, the quieter place in New York City to watch the world go by and to watch people do some things that they don't normally do because it's Central Park. Maybe Soho, maybe down in where all the shops are, and as they go from place to place, or running around down there to the different establishments. Maybe in Brooklyn. In our neighborhood, there's a few eateries and bars that we like to go to that have seating right at the windows where you could just sit and watch, eat and drink, and just watch things and people walk their dogs. The dogs go by, the people go by. I'll let you know a little secret. We like to make up stories as somebody catches our eye, and make up stories about what they are and who they are, where they're going, what are they doing. Anybody else do that, or is it just us? It can't be just us. It's just a fascinating thing to do with your time. Just allows us to slow down, which we don't do enough as a society. You get lost in it. It's just something you can just get lost in just watching. You can generate stories from the different people that you see as they go by, where they go by, and what they're doing, what they're holding, who they're talking to. May catch a glimpse of or hear a few words or sentences as they walk by. And that just expands your story tenfold. And what are they thinking about? What are they actually talking about? And so it can be a game. We sometimes make a game out of it. And if you go into the different neighborhoods or different areas of, say, New York City, you can definitely hear differences in what people are saying, what people are doing, what they're wearing. Where is your favorite place in your city to go? Let me know. Twitter.com/80_Foster. I want to know what your favorite place is to people watch. Now let's take that to another level and do this in another city that you visited. Have you gone to somewhere else, whether it be another place in your country, in the US or in Europe, or have you traveled abroad? I've had the pleasure of going to London a few times, and I have my spots there that I love to watch people watch. I go there knowing that that's all I'm going to do is just sit there and watch. Trafalgar Square is equivalent to Times Square in New York City, and just an intersection of so many people and things, hangout space. Love to sit there and watch. Tower Bridge on the south side near the mayor's office, just watching people go by there, staring, taking pictures of Tower Bridge and themselves in Tower Bridge. Just a fun place just to watch and listen as people go by. And then on South Bank, staying along South Bank in the South Bank area, closer to the Eye, just a massively trafficked place where the bridges are, and especially with London being so diverse and such an international place, that it just kind of increases the storytelling and the thoughts that go through your head about who these people are and what they're doing. What is your other favorite place, your favorite international place, not in your country, that you like to people watch? Tell me. I'd love to hear them. And again, don't forget to tell me on Twitter, reply to me, or just shout it out who your best picture Oscar picks are. It's coming up, days away. I want to hear the places that you love to go to, the trips that you haven't taken yet, but you want to. What's that place that no money was an option? Where do you want to go? For me, it's the Maldives. I've seen so many different places. It looks beautiful. Can imagine no telephones, no iPads, no nothing, what that place would be like. Let me know. All right, my friends, that's all for this episode. It's time for us to part ways. Thanks for listening. I encourage you to tweet your thoughts about today's show. Let me know your best picture winner, your favorite place that you haven't traveled to yet, your fun little people watching story. Get at me. Twitter.com/AD_Foster. And remember, if you want to support my little shenanigans, then share, subscribe, and leave a review on whichever site you found me. I'm way okay with constructive criticism, comments, rejections. I handle it all. It'll just make this show better. That's all for now, but I'll see you next time. I'm Scott Foster, and this is Tweet Talk.